Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our trailer drop for Nintendo and Illumination Studios' The Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Hello, it's me, Nate, and if you're joining us for the first time, we are Geekcentric, a podcast celebrating the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things geek-centric. Before we dive into this trailer, I want to remind you listening that if you enjoy this kind of content, we have much longer reaction episodes that we call Watch Clubs, and we have two going on right now, one dropping each Friday for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, with only one more episode, the finale, next week, and a second one for Andor, where we break down and share our thoughts and theories on the first three episodes of that show, and then once episode 6 hits, we're going to release another Watch Club with another 3-episode coverage. So go join the rebellion. Go give those Watch Clubs a listen. And then last bit of housekeeping before we get into this. We also have our weekly This Week in Geek episodes dropping every single Wednesday to keep you up to date on the latest trailers and news from around the Geekiverse. With our latest episode out right now, where Kevin, Justin, and Darcy discussed Figment getting a new movie, a Community movie announcement, finally, Armor Wars being turned into a movie, and their thoughts on the second trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But now, it's been nearly 40 years since the first Mario Brothers game was released in Japan. It's been just over 1 year that we learned that Nintendo was partnering with Illumination Studios and that Chris Pratt would be voicing the iconic plumber in a fully realized Mushroom Kingdom brought to the big screen for the first time since 1993's Super Mario Bros. Starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, never forget. So you got to imagine Mario fans are pretty stoked to see the first look at this upcoming animated epic starring Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, which I cannot wait to see, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Sebastian Maniscalco as Foreman Spike, and Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, with Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario, in an undisclosed cameo role. The movie is based on a screenplay written by Matt Fogel and is directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelinek, and is produced by Chris Meledandri and Mario creator himself, Shigeru Miyamoto. It comes out April 7th, 2023, and we got our first teaser trailer, so let's get right into it. Joining me for this trailer drop, we have my Koopa kid, the live-action version of Ludwig von Koopa himself, Darcy, the dankest Kong Hudson. Darcy, how are you doing? And what are your initial thoughts on this first look at Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom coming to the big screen?
I'm doing good, and I gotta say, I was probably part of the crowd that was like, do we need a Mario movie? Is this really necessary? With Chris Pratt as Mario,
right.
This teaser, I am already on board. From the short little 2-minute sneak peek we got, I'm already hooked, and I want to see how this plays out.
It's next level. I mean, when it first starts, I gotta say, and you've played the modern Mario 3D games. I'm sure a ton of people listening have. I think it kind of looked like every modern cinematic that we've gotten recently in the Mario games. But as soon as we started to see the characters on screen, I think that's where it really hit for me. There's so much texture. There's so many facial animations. You can tell Illumination Studios is behind this. And that's no shade to what Nintendo's done before. But this is absolutely next level visuals that we're getting in Mario.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, when we first see the shots of the Koopa army and Bowser walking down the aisle,
dude,
it's just like you immediately can see like the world feels lived in, even though it's a video game and we're so familiar with all these characters. The varying facial expressions give so much more life to it than just your stock NPC character in a video game. So I'm really excited to see all the characters we get to see that are, just random Koopas in the army. The one who's hiding in his shell. What's his story? Why is that bro so afraid? Like
he's freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Darcy, if you were to tell me that in 2023 that I'd be watching these little penguins, originally slipping and sliding around in Super Mario 64 in an army, I would say you're on mushrooms, but I was so stoked to see these penguins in this trailer and to hear Kari Payton's booming voice from the King Penguin was just phenomenal. I'm so stoked for that sequence.
Yeah, for sure. Again, looks like they're definitely leaning into the humor with this. Like, it's going to be a fun adventure in the Mushroom Kingdom, and just, again, right from this little battle alone, you can tell what type of humor that's going to be, and it's just going to be very much that Illumination style of just very, slapstick comedy at its core, which I'm really looking forward to. It fits Mario and his adventures to a T, so it's perfect style of a humor to emulate, at least in this teaser.
I saw someone on Twitter posted that sequence of all the penguins running towards them, and then it instantly cut to a Super Mario Party game where you have to avoid all the penguins that are like coming at you, and I was like, dude, absolutely phenomenal. I also want to call out friend of the show, Eric Bauza, was in this trailer. Eric Bauza, who you might know as the modern voice of a ton of Looney Tunes characters, including Bugs Bunny, was at timestamp 45 seconds, as you've already called him out, the shivering Koopa Troopa, and we get to hear him kind of like make a little noise. And we actually have an interview with Eric's business partner and other half of Retro Kid on the YouTube channel, so go check that out right now. But yeah, dude, stoked to kind of see more about that character. Also, weird, while we're at this part of the trailer, continuity thing, which it's a trailer, so you're going to be able to give them a pass for a teaser trailer because they're obviously going to change up, they're going to make it work for whatever kind of miniature moment they're trying to show. But I did notice at timestamp 119, we see Kamek use his wand on the Penguin Army, but then in that exact frame that he's using his wand, they're actually already behind him. And so he's probably in that sequence actually using his wand for something else in that moment, which I just thought was an interesting thing to note. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's using his wand on.
I didn't even notice that. You looked at it way closer than I did, apparently. I just took it for stock. So
Yeah, man. And then let's get back to Black here. Darcy, Jack Black stole this trailer for me. Like, he's going to steal that star. He's going to steal this movie. He was so epic. He looks like a freaking Game of Thrones dragon blasting fire, destroying that ice castle. I'm so happy to see what they're doing with this character. I think he's perfectly cast here.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence. I love Jack Black, don't get me wrong, but he is known for being a very high-pitched and exuberant person. So I was like, how are they like trying to picture Bowser with just your typical Jack Black attitude or voice? But this, bassy, rumbly Bowser Jack Black, I am so ready for it. I hope we get some sort of at least musical little scene or something like that, because Jack Black has some chops, and I'd love to hear him sing some rumbly lows type like that.
Well, it's interesting you said that. He was apparently, I saw on Twitter that he was teasing at New York Comic Con that, yes, there will be a musical moment with Bowser. And like, dude, what a perfect time to bring in Kyle Gass for a cameo. Like, get him as Roy Koopa, just, next to him on the guitar. Like, let's go, dude. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait. And it's so funny too, because like we talk about the look of these characters, not a huge departure from any of the characters, but I did notice, like, especially with Bowser, I guess it's somewhere where like the eyebrows are kind of raised up or placed. It looks like Jack Black. Like, I was like, that looks like Jack Black as Bowser. It was really, I don't know, man. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, just it looks alone. They're changing stuff enough to make it feel like it's a different Mario. We're not gonna get the adventures that we play in the games. It's gonna be a whole new story with a new Mario. So like, again, from looks alone, they're already nailing and solidifying that down by making these slight altercations to be like, oh, this character, but not this version of the character.
Absolutely. Let's get to Mario himself. Again, dude, kind of looking like Chris Pratt in the face. Like, I was like, well, that looks like Chris Pratt. Voice, and this is one of the things that we all sort of were collectively, when Chris Pratt was announced, it was like, what is he going to do? Is he going to do a stereotypical Italian accent? How is that going to play? Is he going to try to do Mario's voice that Charles Martinet has coined over the years? And he kind of sounds a little Brooklyn-esque. What did you think of the look and voice of Mario?
You know, I'm okay with it. I was hoping he wasn't going to be trying to replicate Martinet, because it's so special that what he created for the voice of Mario and the collective cast of the Mario crew. So again, going this different direction, I think that they're really solidifying the fact that it's a different Mario. And I'm loving the fact, because again, Mario's backstory is he is a plumber from New York. So just giving him this Brooklyn accent kind of fits for me. I immediately like, oh, this is a guy from our world, quote unquote, who got sucked into the Mushroom Kingdom, and we're going to be following him on his adventures. So like, I am again wholly on board for what Chris Pratt will bring to the character.
Well, speaking of backstory, a lot of people bringing up the fact that he has no ass. He's lost his ass. Where Mario's got a nice big plump dumper in the games, but here he's completely flat-assed. What do you think? Are you going to miss seeing Mario's ass in the movie?
Well, maybe we're seeing, again, this is a Mario who's just come to the Mushroom Kingdom. He hasn't been jumping much yet. So maybe he'll get those glutes from the journeys he goes over. He'll get the massive legs from all the jumping and punching he's got to do. So, yeah, that was my thought.
Okay, no, I love that. I love that answer as to why.
It sets it up for a joke, too, a little training montage. And then by the end of it, he's got that little dump that we all know. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll have to wait and see if they bring back Mario's ass. I'll be cheering in the theater for that moment. Keegan-Michael Key, we get to hear his version of Toad here, and it makes me think, because he's doing a voice, and it's not just the voice like how he did Ducky in Toy Story 3. That was just, or Toy Story 4. That was just his voice. Mm-hmm. This makes me think that he's doing like all the Toad's voices in this way. Is that kind of what you were getting as well?
Yeah, 100% too. And like, he clearly knows the character Toad, because his voice is right on the edge of almost too annoying to listen to, which is exactly what Toad is known for. Perfect. Is that he is that shrill, annoying little voice, but I can listen to his version of Toad while still being like, oh, he is kind of annoying if you give him too much to say type thing. So I love it. I hope that all the Toads are just varying Keegan-Michael Keys out there.
So good. And I love the subtle nod to the new Super Mario Bros. DS with the blue mushroom call out of like, don't touch that, you're gonna die. And then like the score, excellently blending in Koji Kondo's original themes. Brian Tyler was confirmed during the Nintendo Direct that he is going to be doing the composition for the movie. So I'm intrigued to see, like, it already sounds so epic with the main theme, the way they weave that in. I'm really interested to see and hear what that's actually going to sound like. But let's also quickly, very briefly, because the trailer only gave us a very brief look, Luigi. Unfortunately, we don't really get to see a ton of Luigi or hear a ton of what Charlie Day is doing with his voice, outside of like a slight little scream, and I'm sure we're going to get tons of screams throughout the movie from Luigi. But what did you think of our first look at Luigi here?
His voice quaver was perfect, and I can always see why we get the scaredy cat. I mean, look where his brother gets dropped, a nice bright mushroom field, and then he's, I'm assuming, been dropped in the middle of this haunted house type thing. Okay. So, yeah, I'd understand why you'd be scared of everything in this world if your first interaction was that. So, yeah, I'm Charlie Day as Luigi. Again, the little voice wobble that we get as he's running there, very fits. Luigi. So, I'm excited to see what he brings. Yeah,
we did get a chance to see, not here, but see, and not in this trailer, but Princess Peach, I think, was leaked on Twitter. Looking kind of, a lot of people calling out very little Disney-esque look for Princess Peach, which is fine. I'm excited to hear what Anya Taylor-Joy does with the character. But Darcy, I want to kind of round out this conversation, as we like to do with a lot of our reaction content, with a little bit of speculation here. So you're chatting it up. You're talking about how you're thinking Mario and his brother Luigi are being thrust into the Mushroom Kingdom. In the trailer, we see Chris Pratt's Mario ejected out of a warp pipe, as if he didn't know how to use a freaking warp pipe. And then he says, "What is this place?" So myself, and I think a lot of people on the internet have been speculating that the only way that Nintendo can get away with Chris Pratt playing Mario in the movies, but then not in future games, going back to Martinet for future releases, is if there's a human, and maybe for both Luigi and Mario, a human, walking around maybe in Brooklyn, because it does sound like he has kind of a Brooklyn accent, and then they're sucked, very Jumanji style into this world. What are your thoughts here? Do you think this is actually Mario? Has he lost his memory? What do you think is going on here? Why is he so surprised by the Mushroom Kingdom?
I think it's very much that this is like his first introduction to the Mushroom Kingdom, because I think one of the game stories that he was brought to the Mushroom Kingdom from New York. So that was
okay.
I may be remembering wrong, but that is what I have in my memory of
Right.
Mario. So I think that this is a Mario and Luigi from, like, again, a real world who get brought to this fantasy place and end up being the saviors that the Mushroom Kingdom needs, because maybe they have some special interaction with these mushrooms and they can grow or get powerful. I don't know. Again, I'm thinking that this might be a different universe than the Mario games that we know, and that's how they're going to get away with it. Is that we're going to get a bit of a Mario multiverse here, where Charles Martinet will be playing the video game Mario Mario that we know, because maybe there's an interaction at some point. We know there's already been Mario games where he works with Baby Mario, so what's to say he can't work with an alternate Mario too? So
right, and we know there's like chromed out Mario from Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Like there's been other Marios before. So yeah, maybe instead of Brooklyn or New York, he's from New Donk City, right? They're walking around New Donk and chatting it up with Paulina, who gets a cameo, and then they're sucked into this world through one of those pipes. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, Toad seems to know who Mario is, at least, like, maybe not in that moment where he's introduced. I guess you could almost argue the fact that he probably tells him his name's Mario, and then he says, "Let's go to the Mushroom Kingdom." But I don't know, man. Like, for me, it will be a little bit strange if they're going off the idea of, like, this is the Mario movie universe, because then, like, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo. Like, are we gonna get the Super Mario Bros. The movie, the game for Nintendo Switch coming up in 2023? Like. It could happen, but I'm very, very intrigued, very pleasantly surprised by this entire trailer, and I can't wait to see the next one. I hope we get to hear all the other casts. Like, I want to hear what Seth Rogen sounds like as Donkey Kong. I want to hear Fred Armisen as freaking Cranky Kong. Like, let's go. If they start the next trailer with Fred Armisen's Cranky Kong coming out and just doing that little thing at the beginning of the Donkey Kong games where he's got that music player and
cranks up the music player,
and then it goes like epic, bum bum bum, and then just you bring in Donkey Kong shows up. Oh, dude, I'm so hyped for this. I think I'm so much more excited for this now than I ever thought that I could be. Do you have any other last words before we end off on this trailer drop?
No, like I said at the beginning there, that I wasn't really on board with the movie until this teaser, and now I can't wait to see more from this movie, because this teaser was so well done and looks like it's going to be very visually pleasing, to say the least. And again, some of the humor is kind of right up the alley of just fun slapstick comedy. So yeah, I'm on board. Can't wait.
Well, wahoo. That is it for this trailer drop. Imagine if that was what Chris Pratt, he was just like, wahoo, everyone. Like, just super dry with it. That is it for this trailer drop and reaction. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you like to listen to podcasts. And if you want to write into the show with your thoughts on this trailer or any of the content we cover, well, let me just send you through a warp pipe over to Darcy to let you know how you can reach us.
Yes, of course. They can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. Or if that's too much like getting sucked down that warp pipe and you want to take the long way to the Mushroom Kingdom, you can reach us on Instagram at wearegeekcentric or on Twitter at geekcentricyt.
Dude, who's that guy that floats around in the cloud? What's that guy called? Lakitu, dude, that guy's tweeting. There's no way he's flying around sending emails. He's tweeting for sure, for sure. Keep in mind, we also have a ton of other content covering the latest and greatest shows and movies out now, like our recent spoiler-filled discussion for Werewolf by Night out now, where Darcy, I gotta say, went absolutely beast mode, dropping all sorts of details that you might have missed during the special presentation. And if you haven't watched Werewolf by Night, well, we also have our spoiler-free review out for it right now that you can check out, as well as our spoiler-free reviews for Andor. We've got spoiler-free reviews for Amsterdam, Hocus Pocus 2, and we have a ton of interviews as well on the YouTube channel, like our interviews with Hocus Pocus 2 director Anne Fletcher, as well as all the a lot of the cast from that movie. You can check out those on YouTube at youtube.com/geekcentric. Go give those episodes a watch, a listen, a like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review if you don't mind. And Darcy, thank you so much for joining me for this trailer drop. And as we say, love ya.
Laters.